Hello everybody, welcome to Claru Beauty with your host Claudia Lara. So today the video I've been kind of now wanting to do for a while, for a big while, for a long while, forever, about me. All right, so the reason I'm doing it right now, well, first of all, I have red lipstick, which is Dior 999. But the reason I'm doing it now is because I just filmed a couple of videos. So you'll see the same kind of outfit and you'll see how I created this look. And because I've been filming for a little while, then I should be a little tired. And I thought that would be good for the About Me video because that way I don't rumble forever. So is that a good deal for you? It's a good deal for me. And I'm doing this because you guys have requested it and because it's fair, right? I want to introduce myself. So my name is Claudia Lara. Oh, and that's Maximiliano. It's one of my cats. I have 2 cats and 3 dogs. If I can, I'll post a picture here. So I have the male cat, which is Maximiliano, Max. And I have the female cat, which is a gray cat. There he goes. And her name is Cleopatra. Cleo. Most known for Cleo. All right. So I have 3 male dogs and my husband. So a lot of male energy around this household, if you get my drift. Okay. So I don't even know where to begin, but at least I began with my love of my life, which are my pets and my husband, right? So I am married. Been married, I don't know for how long, 15 years, something like that. And then we lived together for 5 years. So I don't know how long that is. I guess I could come up with that. That's not that important. So I'm married. I don't have any children. No, I don't. Supposedly we are able to have children, or we were able to have children, but they just never came. And I didn't feel like going through the process to be able to have children. I just thought if they come naturally, I will welcome them with all my heart. And if they don't come, then I welcome not having them. You know, that's just me. I believe life, well, I won't go into philosophizing. That's what I call it. By the way, I do go into the meaning and the depth of life, and sometimes I lose some of you, some of my family members, whatever. When I do that, just tell me, yeah, you went into that kind of rumbling about life and so on. So that is also a part about me. So I try to come back and be on tune on what I'm talking about. So far, about me. All right. One thing is, I'm 50. I just turned 50 in April. So I'm at Aries, according to the most known astrology. But there's other older astrology which will say that I'm a Pisces. It gets complicated. Whatever you believe in. But for most general astrology that is known, I'm an Aries. I was born the 11th of April. I was born in 1972. Thus, I just turned 50. Just FYI. And because I turned 50, I have had a long life. I mean, not the longest life if I was 100, but a long life. It's 5 decades. And so there's so much of my life history, stories. I went through many things already. I'm sure there's many to come. But if you're in my age group, you know, it's just chapters of life. And they're all full of ups and downs and neutral and challenges and victories and, you know, so it's hard to summarize. I'm going to keep trying. I don't know, you know. So a lot of you ask, what did I do before this? And that's also a long biography, or what do you call it? Resume? Or so let's start with one, I think, important feature or factor. My parents were Mexicans, are Mexicans, they're both alive. And so I am from Mexico. And I grew up there from 3 years old till university. And so I didn't speak English until I was 20 something. So I'm Mexican, I consider myself Mexican. However, I was born, you can say by accident, but my father was going to the university in New Mexico State. And so I was born there. So I'm a US citizen by birth. And it's funny because it's called New Mexico, which means it used to be Mexico, and then they purchased the land, so it became US, but they say the border crossed the people, not the people crossing the border. So I mentioned all of that because I do see a connection between me, a bridge between these two cultures, Mexico and United States. I'm married to a United States American man, but his mother was from England, very British. And so he has a little bit of that, even though he only spent summers there and things like that. But you know, you learn from your parents. His father was American, from Oklahoma, I think. Yeah, from Oklahoma, not I think, I know. In any case, but it's interesting because we both share a Black humor. So if you're British or you know the English sort of culture, you know this, would you say is dark humor or dry humor? I think it's more dry humor or something like that. So I do enjoy that. My family enjoy that. My mother's side enjoy that. So here I am, I don't know if you're interested in all this because I can go on and on and on about my family background. So let's come back to the present moment and me, right? So I came to the university in the United States, to University of Texas in Austin. So I'm a UT Austin sort of girl, Longhorn. For some people that know about it, it's a big deal. Longhorn, all right. I graduated from economics. Now I did have a scholarship for statistics. I'm always been very big in math from Ann Arbor, Michigan, but I ended up not going because of the snow. So I don't want to get lost in that. So, all right, let me focus here because then I can go into all these, right, branches of my life. So I graduated in economics with a bachelor's. End of story there. And then my career was mainly in finance. So I went into accounting, and then I became director of accounting, and then finance director, and then what they call chief financial officer, which is in charge of all finance. And then eventually I did become a CEO, which is chief executive, CEO, chief executive officer. It's been a while. So I did climb up the ladder in corporate, like they say, and I did retire pretty young. Yes, it was a big deal. I was between the top 20 CFOs in the state of Florida, and now I'm bragging. Well, it's not bragging. I felt very accomplished, especially being a female. Every boardroom, every meeting, it was mostly men. And so that was sort of tough. I can talk about all of that and all my learnings from that. I will include that in this channel because I don't know if you saw my question or my other channels my other videos that I've been considering bringing up what I learned about life, what my experiences are, I think it could be useful. Anyway, so I did become a CEO, and it was around 100 employees, and we were in 48 countries, 28 states of the United States. So it was a lot of responsibility, and I did a good job. The reason I say that is because there were a lot of things that happened throughout the company. When I went in, it was almost bankrupt, huge, millions of dollars, I turned it around. So yay, I did good. And I got recognized by it. So that was a good thing. Felt very good. It started to lack meaning for me because then once you get to a certain level that I didn't expect to get so soon. I was like 36 when I was there. And all I knew is that from then on, it would have been more of the same, bigger, more responsibility, wider, but the same, because once you taste what it is to be in a certain degree of responsibility, that's what it is. And it ended up being meaningless to me in the sense of what am I waking up every day to make more money? Because that was the goal. That is the goal for companies. I mean, before it was, I want to get to the next title or the next leadership position or the next, but once you get to a certain level, and it is about the purpose of the company and leading the purpose of a company, then it really became about how to make more money and then resolving all the issues that come along that. And that was thrilling to me, the whole step. And I can be talking a little bit of each of the steps because you do go through stages. But once I was there, it all became about making more money for the shareholders, for the investors, for the owners, for whatever. And that lacked meaning to me. And so I went to a big shift. And that shift, I went into all about, you can call it spirituality, or searching for meaning, or searching of who I am and what I want in this life and purpose. And I went many, many years, and I did study. I went into this, it has a bachelor's of healing, but it does have a lot of background on psychology from Freud, and then a lot of body connected to psychology, and then a lot of body, emotions, mental psychology connected to your essence or more meaning or the soul or unique journey in this lifetime. You know, I don't want to bore you with all of this, but and so I started sort of giving individual therapy. You can call it's not called therapy because I'm not a therapist or licensed therapist, but it was a lot of one-on-one. And I don't want to go into much of that. I can do another video if you're curious, but it's not coaching. Although, because of my background in corporate, I did get a lot of people that were very successful in many journeys in life. And so they did ask for my counseling or coaching or holding or direction, you know, because we all need something to support us, encourage us, look at strategic ways of different things. And so I did get a mixture of therapy, coaching, healing, support, holding, and especially I did walk in lives with people that were ill, fatally ill, or just searching for meaning. Or so it really, what I describe it to become very human in count. And so I went from very, you can say black and white, very cold, looking at numbers, accounting, finance, strategy, managing, to very human from the heart, encompassing really stages in life, from growing up to holding elderly parents to ill when you have to go through a process. So it made me get very close to human nature. I don't know how else to describe it. And it was very enlightening. I mean, if you want to use that word, very awakening. I mean, very, who are we as human beings and all the parts of us. And so I don't want to keep going on and on about that, but that has been a very big part of my life, or the inner life journey, more than the outer where I've been. And so what I discovered really, because I work with many, I mean, when I was in corporate, I was in 48 countries. So I work with Asia, you know, I work with Latin America, I work with Europe, and so I learned how people worked, different style, different purposes, or different way of doing things, or different ways to looking at certain goals or time frames. So that was one part of humanness. But then when I started this other chapter of my life, after 8 years of studying this and then applying it myself, I learned from many different cultures. I mean, I work with people from Australia, from England, from Germany, a lot of, you know, healing or going through process, Judaism, religions, Catholicism. So I learned a lot of different perspectives of cultures. But what I found was that we all are the same as human beings. What I mean is that we all feel the same emotions, different stories, different reasoning, but we all feel sadness, helplessness, happiness, excitement, celebratory, love for our young, or love for our family members, or misunderstandings, or you know what I mean. So really emotions really unite us. There's no, the story itself lacks its meaning once you get to the core that emotions is what we are emphasized with each other, really. I mean, you might want one thing and you might want the other thing, and you argue about those things, but when you come to the core of the emotional and why you do or choose those things, we could really understand each other because we get it. We all get it. We all feel it. Anyhow, now so back about me. But the reason I mention all this is because this has been my journey, right? What I've learned. So in that whole journey, I did do many workshops, and I have done travel all over the world. I mean, I've done workshops in Ecuador, I've done workshops in Canada, I've done it all over the United States, obviously in Mexico. So, and back in corporate and back really for pleasure in my vacation time, I have traveled all over the world. I haven't gone to Africa. Well, I've been to Egypt, so that applies. And I've seen Morocco from across the border, across the ocean from Spain. So, but I haven't visited full Africa or done a safari or anything like that. So that's the one that is still there. But Asia and things like that, I've been. And so I've traveled the world. What was it? There was another question you guys asked me. What did I do before? And I think that's what I spent most of this video on. So conclusion, I live in many different places in the United States. I live in Spain for a year. I live several summers, like in England. I couldn't say Germany because I didn't spend that much time, but I've been several times. So yeah, I've been to Europe in several locations. So I've been around there. But living, I lived in Spain for a year, and Mexico, obviously. And I have gone across Mexico and United States and some of Canada, at least the south part, which, is close to United States, very on cars. So I know the highways. I drove. Anyhow, so that gives me a lot of views of how people live in different places. And again, culture, right? What the differences in culture. So I've been to India, not in a raham, or what do you call a spiritual temple, even though you can't travel to India without feeling spiritual. But I have studied many different with many different spiritual teachers, from the Tibet, from Catholicism, from India, from many. It's been my passion learning about philosophies and religions and spirituality and who we are. So here I am. This is me, about me. So we are probably about time. I don't know what else I can tell you. In my youth, I used to be a big time athlete. I did gymnastics for many years, and then swimming, and then running, and big time, and all the way to when I was a CEO. I was very big time in sports and athleticism and fitness and structure and discipline and an agenda, calendar. It was I do believe when you have many things in your plate, many responsibilities, being organized and having a structure is a must. I mean, it's not even, perhaps it's a must. Even though your desk might look full of papers and you might have your own organization, which might look messy to others, but yet it's still an organization. So back on that day, I was so disciplined, I even had a time to go to the bathroom. I mean, you must, because you have so much to accomplish in a time frame. But after that, I went so off the opposite spectrum that I did not work out. I ate when I wanted, and all of this thing, which was necessary, I believe, in my case. You go so far on one side, you want to go all the other way. And I mention this because I gained weight. I'm not that strong, at least I'm not as fit, and so now I want to go back. I want to go back to being fit and being strong and have a little more discipline in my life. And that is being a little hard. I don't want to go into diets because I do go into yo-yo. Every time I go on a diet, I do lose weight, and then every time I get off it, I not only go back to the norm, I go beyond it. I went through that many times, so I'm not doing that. But I share this with you because, you know, making you part of where I am now, where my struggle is. So in my words, I've been through all the mental accomplishment and then spirituality or opening up of who I am or whatever. And now I need to concentrate on the physical, you know, my food intake and healthy choices and more discipline in my time frames. And so that's where I'm at. Yep. So any help? Nothing that you could do other than just know that that's where I'm at and support me in that just by being nice to me about it. Yeah. Believing that believe that I will be back in that way. Yeah. Your belief will help me come to fruition in that. How about that? And I'm not so bad. I mean, I can still run. But if you notice, I have very big boobs. I don't know if you've seen some of my pictures. I'll put one. And so they're heavy. And so, yeah, that's what I'm working on today. And second, which I'll end with this video, the other thing I'm working on is, because I forgot, I wrote a book in Spanish, so I can't share it with you. I will be writing one in English. So I can tell you what it's about and all that later, but it is obviously about life and everything I've been talking about here. But, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay. Well, at least I had to mention that I wrote a book. I'll be sharing that with you here. I totally forgot what I was going to end and finish the video with. Oh yeah, that's happening too. So about me, that's happening too. This kind of just talking about something and just forget. Oh well. All right, enough is enough. I think if you have any questions, if I didn't say something you wanted to know about me, ask. What is it saying? Feel free to ask. Comment down below. Any questions about everything I mentioned? Bring it down below. And that's it, folks. All right. Well, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Thank you so much for listening to me mumbling about me or my interests or my journey. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, stay tuned. What is this? Luxury makeup, luxury lifestyle. Not that luxury, but you know what I mean. I like quality, right? In a humble way. I'm not looking for, I'm in this big hotel, because sometimes going to elegant hotels is not all that jazz, I've learned. Going to cozy, little nice places sometimes gives you a lot more warmth, even liking the people that are around, that work there, that, I don't know how I ended up going there. We were finalizing the video, but that's another part about me. I much prefer very comfy pair of jeans or jog wear and very soft fabric among anything else. And so, yeah, that's also about me. And, I love the saying, less is more. However, it doesn't show about makeup. So, yeah, love your passions. All right, why can I wrap it up? Why I keep going back? We're supposed to say goodbye already. So goodbye. It's because things come into my mind like, oh my God, and I have all these instruments, and I have sound bowls, and I have the bells, and oh my God, I did painting, and I want to show you all this creativeness, and I have all these things, and I think I said enough. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for staying this long in About Me video. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you. Ciao.